It was Friday the 13th. I was walking home from my friend's house. It wasn't a long walk, maybe 5 minutes. As I got to my door, I realized I didn't bring my keys when I left my house. I took my cell phone out from my pocket to check the time, and it was 7:30 p.m. My parents usually don't get back home from work until 8:45 p.m. So I decided to walk to my grandparents' house, which is only about a 10-minute walk. As I was walking down the street, I saw a shadow behind me. I turned around, but no one was there. My heart started racing and I started to speed up. Then I saw the shadow again, following. I turned around again. Nobody was there. I was kind of scared at that time, but thankfully I was getting closer to my grandparents' house. I texted my grandma and told her to wait outside the door for me, and she replied with an okay. When I turned the corner, I could see the house and my grandma standing there. I started to feel calm again, like nothing was going to happen to me. But I was wrong. As I was about to cross the road to get to my grandma, I was suddenly pulled into an alleyway. One hand covered over my mouth and another hand was around my body. With such an abrupt attack, I couldn't get my scream out. I looked down and I could see a very dark, black hand with long, pointy black nails. Lots of cuts and scratches were all over his hands. Its face was getting closer to mine, and it smelled like dead bodies. When I looked next to me, I could see a little part of its face. It was pale white with a tint of gray. I could tell that it was not from here. It was something that we should not know. Tears were flowing down my face. After being dragged through the alleyway, I was dropped onto the ground. When I moaned in pain, that creature stood over me, breathing into my face. Now I could clearly see its face. It had big black eyes, a big open smile with pointy white teeth, and a long red pointy nose. I closed my eyes, hoping it was just a dream. However, I felt their hand and nails were starting to dig into my neck, slowly and painfully. I struggled to breathe, but it was impossible. My vision was slowly blurring. And at that moment, someone put their hands on my shoulders. Another put their head on my right shoulder and started to whisper in my ear with a strange voice. "So, this is how you end up when you forget your key on Friday the 13th. Then the creature started laughing, and then everything went pitch black and silent. When I opened my eyes again, I heard a bunch of people shouting, "He's back! He's back!" I was lying in a hospital room, and all my family was standing next to me. I looked to the left of me, and there was a woman doing something next to a monitor. I asked her, "Excuse me, why am I here? What happened?" And she responded, "You were found in an alleyway near your grandma's house with scratches and cuts on your neck. As soon as your grandma saw you being pulled into the alley, she immediately ran after you. She found you laying there as pale as paper, with your phone in your hand and blood running from your neck onto the ground. So she called 911, and now you're here." Looking her straight in the eye, I was immobilized with terror. I couldn't believe what she was saying, because I couldn't remember what happened to me. And then, when I looked to the right of me on the bedside table, there it was. I could see my house key